So this is a video for December 2023 as an extra. Hopefully you saw the when I covered the ZX Microfair as part of the Gilsoft history one. This is sort of going to touch on some Gilsoft history, but it's about something else I had for Christmas, which is the Kickstarter 2 version of the ZX Spectrum Next. Now, I was lucky enough to get one of the white ones, which were provided for team members, so I have to say thanks to Mike and Enrique for that. That is a really nice gesture. I'm not going to use that for this demonstration. We are going to take a little look at something different about the Spectrum Next, and thanks to Mr. Goodwin, who has proved that it works on the KS2 machine, I thought I would dig mine out of an object that was launched in December 1986 in this issue of Crash, the Christmas one. Now, unfortunately, they didn't have the nice Christmassy style to this one. I don't know why they do. This is the 85, which we'll be looking at next year because it contains a bit of the Gilsoft history. But this one from December of 86, which I don't seem to have a copy of, I don't know why, which is quite important because it's the Cobra Snake one. But what we've got here on the news items is the announcement of a product that we need to make work with the ZX Spectrum Next, and indeed Simon's proved it. Let's have a little look. Oh, look, there's my, I would say it's a bit ahead now with the 20th, but that's actually me holding our giant book for Paw. But just below our announcement of Paw for the 128K Spectrum, plenty of hardware products were around us at that time, and I think this is probably where I got my DiSCIPLE. So this was December of 86, and that's indeed what's announced here, is the Rockfort Products DiSCIPLE, a disk interface which included interface 1 compatible networking ports, interface 1 compatible drive commands, a pair of joystick ports, and obviously a disk interface. And that's exactly what I've got here, hooked up to my ZX Spectrum Next. And that is a KS2 unit because there's been some improvements in the interface port. And we've got a pair of drives. This is unfortunately, you have to have a swap drive on the bottom because it went faulty, but it is now working. This is the standard one you use, just standard Shugart drives. I use this on my BBC and my Dragon. And it's just hooked up to the DiSCIPLE, plugged into the back of the Spectrum Next. Now, Simon found, as documented in the user group, how to use it with this machine. So we're going to take a look at that now in this video using the DiSCIPLE and take a look at some of the discs and items I've got from that time. Before we take a look at the actual device running with the Spectrum Next, I take a look at the some of the paperwork I've got back in the day. This is the dated 1986, the introductory manual for the DiSCIPLE. Now that would have come with the GDOS2 fitted to it. It's slightly later than the manual that's on screen, which is the version from which is available online, but you can find it, and that is dated 1987, although it does have a copyright message further in for 86. Why is that not zooming in and out? There we go. Third edition, August 1987. Now that would have been the one that came after. This would have been a letter I had in 13th of August 1987. Dear DiSCIPLE user from Rockfort Products, please download version 3 of the DiSCIPLE. To upgrade, just fill in the order form. We'll send you an upgrade kit. Consists of an EEPROM, a cassette, a manual update and an instruction sheet. No soldering required. So I've actually got the original EEPROM somewhere for GDOS2, but I can't find it. So I'd obviously done something, but I've got some users group notes. So 83, 84. Okay, so that's please send me £9 per kit for DiSCIPLE version 3. Enclosed sterling check postal order, 21 days, Rockfort Products. So that then came with this, which is the extra notes, I think. So manual addendum for DiSCIPLE DOS 3. Which has a number of new features, 128K snapshot save as well as single screen save, double size screen dump with Epsons. We had to try that, didn't we? Maybe we'll have a go at that in another video. Open and close streams and channels from BASIC, new type of file executable, read and write sectors to the disk, and new network features to force a file upon a station. So have fun with version 3. And then there's some things you've got to do in the manual about what to do to update the manual. So that's a bit. So load the snapshot files. So how to reload files. That'll be useful to us afterwards. Hopefully. So yeah. Lots of extra instructions. I'll scan these and make them available online because I don't think I've found them anywhere. It came with, of course, a copy of Format, the newsletter of the Independent Disciple User Group, introductory issue. I don't know what this is, so let's look what's folded in here. It's probably nothing to do with it. Disciple Disk Directory. Actually, yes, it's a directory of printed on my Epson printer with all the different Spectrum POR code by the looks of it. Again, I don't know whether these are available online. 1987 Indug, DiSCIPLE marketed Rockford Products. Newsletter is published by the Independent Disciple User Group, 34 Bolton Road, Gloucester. Editor's page. These were obviously done in writing for Format. Poke at 6 and how to unlock the printer. Disk or disk. What do they say? There's in fact a real answer. During the early days of computing, a disk was a large solid unit. It could be screwed into an even larger, more solid drive. So what's my answer? Well, as Miles Gordon Technology put the disk into DiSCIPLE, and I was trained through ICL to spell it disk, and I'm a true blue Brit, I will continue to use disk. But you can make your own mind up. Okay. Membership form for Indug. Member survey, users software exchange. What else have I got then? I've got also got another copy then of Format from December of 1987, issue 5. And by now it's the DiSCIPLE and Plus D users, because of course the Plus D one was done. So again, I'm not sure if it's available online. I will. A Christmas edition might be interesting. So it's a snow joke. A snowstorm on the Spectrum with this small routine in assembler. Spectrum Snow. Wow, we need to type that in, don't we? If it's not available anywhere. I think there's a whole episode out of looking at these magazines, isn't there? Incremental backup. WordPress Plus. User software exchange. Programs L copy, multi-poke, and G hacker. Okay. And of course, it came with the original tape, which is the DiSCIPLE OS original master. That's where the tape deck. I thought I might cover the program that came with it. Now, of course, importantly, I've also found my old discs, which has got the DiSCIPLE OS 3. I've probably still got the 2 in here as well, if I'm looking. DiSCIPLE OS 2 system disk as well. So, don't know if that's archived online. Might be worth recovering. And some different configs. Games 1, 2, and 3. Obviously snapshotted some games, and POR, which we'll take a look at. There we go. Hopefully, assuming it all works. So there we go. That's the items from the DiSCIPLE. So let's go over to the Next and see how to use it. So the first thing we need to do is, if the Next is not restarted, is press and hold the space key while we're doing a reset. And normally, is in this menu, which you get a configuration. If you haven't seen a Next restart, you basically do that. You see the initial Next boot up screen, and then you press space, you can get into this. So you don't want the Next personality, you either want the 48K or the 128K personality. That will redo the Next into an electronics compatible and ROM mapping mode for the those original models, because that's all this DiSCIPLE will work with. You can just see the DiSCIPLEs on the back of the machine. Actually, let's show you that a bit briefly, quickly. So you just got that slipped onto the back of the machine. You've got two buttons here. One is a reset and one is a disable. And then the cable for the disk drive is just plugged in the back there. And it sits just on the interface. So there you go. So we turn it on. As I said, we need to go into the menu, and we want in the configuration screen you want to go into to options, and we need to make sure that the joystick port is not set to Kempston or MD1, because there is a Kempston joystick port on the DiSCIPLE, and it actually uses the out31. That's the secret source that Simon has indicated. It will use that as a control for its disk drives, and in fact that's covered in the technical document which is available online. So we set that. The other one we got to do is we've got to set the div MMC ROM out and the div MMC hardware as being off. We need to have a little play with that because it should in theory be possible to have the div MMC hardware on and enable and disable it from within software, which allows to flick between them. But once we've done that, the only other one that needs to be off is here, is the DACs. They have to be no because, again, the ports collide. So once you've done that, and you've selected a suitable personality, we go into 128K. Then all we're going to need, once we get into it, we can go into the basic then, and we can do an out. We need out 9275, 128, and then a out 9531, which is the basically the way you set the external interface on the back to be on so it works. And of course we need a new afterwards, which will ensure that the basic hasn't run any code, and that's important because of the way the DOS boots. So once I've done that, I go back into 128K basic, and now I should be able to just run, and the disk drive will start to spin. And it's the bottom drive which is selected green, and it's waiting for a operating system disk. So if I take out one of the operating system disks and put it in, there we go, GDOS3, and we can do then a cat1, which will show us the contents of the disk directory. And it's got a number of programs on it. Some snapshots, which are game snapshots, Squash, Escape, Arkanoid. I said those notes on how to reload snapshots had come in handy, didn't I? So luckily enough, I saved the newsletter and so how you can do it. So I don't know whether this is going to work, but it's got to be worth a try. I obviously snapshotted Arkanoid there, and that's all that was on it. So if we do, you can see the sys 3.0 file there, and that is all now loaded in and will last through a reset. All you've got to do is just re-enable the interface bus with the 9275.128, 9531.128 and new. You probably don't actually need the new purely because you're not going to run the operating system again. So all we got to do, let's try loading one of them. We've done a catalog on that disk, so let's try loading a command, one of the snapshots rather. So we do a load, and it's a short form. You can use the full *m semicolon 1 semicolon if you want, or you can load the short form, which I'm going to do, which is D1, and then Arkanoid, I believe it was, and it was a 1 to 8K snapshot, so it's a K or an S for a 48K. Let's see if this works. I haven't tried this before, so you're seeing me do it live, and it just does a reset. But we're in 48K mode now, which is probably user 0 mode. What else we got on here we can try? What's in loader, mover, the music? They're the actual configuration programs, I believe, for the that are loaded off a tape. So they're the original operating systems. Because if I do a load D1 loader, there we go, and it goes straight in and plays the music. If you load it from tape as well. And so press any key. There we go, and then you go through the configuration options for the system. Is it a 40 track drive, 80 track drive, do you have a printer, etc. So is it a 40 track drive? No. Is it an 80 track disc? Yes it is. Is disk drive 1 double sided? Yes it is. Is disk drive 2 a 40 track? No it's not. Is it an 80 track? Yes it is. Is disk drive 2 double sided? Yes it is. Enter the drive step rate, and you can so on to configure the machine. You should be able to, you go, break into it. Yes, got one. And go back and have a little look. Ooh, I've enabled screen flickering somehow. There we go. Yeah. Right, well let's take a little look at one of the other discs as well. Say you can do a reset at any time you like, go in. All you've got to remember to do is to do the 9275, 128, out, 9531. And that will then restore the, yeah, okay. I assume if I turn the power off and restart, that flickering will go away. That must be something that's set by the config program maybe. Let's prove that. We'll reload from start. Turn it off. Turn it back on again. Now it will have lost the config for the GDOS. Go back in to the 128K basic and we can do an out. 9275, you'll have you learned this off by heart. 9531. We've got to do the new again this time because we need to be able to go back into basic and do the run to reload the OS. Oh. Oh. Why didn't that work? Never do live demos. So the reason it didn't run is I had the little button on the side here on the DiSCIPLE, I believe. There we go. And that disables the DiSCIPLE if it's pushed in. That's how you can use it with interface 1, which is an experiment we'll have to do. So we're back to be able to boot. I'm going to swap out this disk for one of the poor ones. So we got Professional Adventure Writer on DiSCIPLE poor disk and poor databases disk. So I'll put the poor disk in at the bottom. I assume that's already got an OS on it, but just in case, it doesn't matter. Cat1 has it got? No, it doesn't have the. Oh yeah, sys.3 is on there, but this has actually the poor program and a few other bits and pieces that might be worth looking through. So microdrive, Opus, tapes. This is actually one of our master discs that we used to make all our master games from. No matter what it was, the DiSCIPLE was the way we used to make poor. So we'll cover that probably when we get to 1996. But just for the moment, I'm going to load poor into the system. So if we do a load D1, let's just prove the microdrive format works. There we go. So that's the microdrive format. There we are, so version A16D, we've got our usual things, 1986, press any key for the main menu. We can show us the 128K version because you can see all the different pages. The difference with the DiSCIPLE version is you've got this Y, select device and catalog, which if you've seen other versions, so select data disk, select tape, or select catalog of this. So if you do a catalog, it will show a catalog of this particular disk. And you can see we've got the start on there. We've got a file called full one, and Chook as the demo, and a few other things. There's monitors on here, lift fin. So that's the demonstration from poor of what's called a pseudo intelligent character, a PSI, where you've got to solve it by asking them to help you. So there's a few things to explore on this, which I'll probably do as part of both the Gilsoft history, and for things that are DiSCIPLE, we'll do another DiSCIPLE episode maybe. So just out of interest, let's put the poor databases disk in the second drive and show that both drives work. So we do that, and I select number 2, and I can now catalog number 2. And we've got a number of bug-based tests. The bit I'm looking at this, and I don't want Miranda, is Magic Castle 1 A to J, and the reason I'm interested in that, and Magic Full A to L, they are the multi-page 1 to 8K versions of things. So if I load Magic Full by doing a J, load database and load in Magic Full, this will allow me to just test that the DiSCIPLE can load all its pages in memory, and will reveal one of the things that Paul did, which was to make full use of DiSCIPLE, Microdrive, Opus, and all of those different disk interfaces. I don't think we ever finished the beta DOS version, although I have got a beta machine interface and we were working on it. It's loading every single page of RAM now. So it's quite a bit of data to load. And in there now we will have, if I look at the free memory, there's still a number of bytes free on each page, but it now contains locations on different pages. So page 7 is in use up to location numbers up to 17, which means, of course, if I want to do something other than the basic options, so if I go into there and I look at the locations, for example, the disk will spin as it loads the poor overlay in order to be able to do this, to show me the locations. So this is a game called the Magic Cupboard, a small bedroom, cupboard's large enough to warrant carpet and wallpaper. So a lost game maybe. Here we go, the study and the library. So if I break out of it, I've got quite a lot of places, attic, cellar, on the road. Okay, and you'll see the same thing again. If I go to the Y option, it'll again, to be able to do the disk management, it has to actually load the file from disk rather, and the overlays come in and out. So there we are. It looks like the DiSCIPLE is running. Maybe in another episode I'll take a look at some of the other features, like working it with an interface 1, or networking it, and how to perhaps use it with some of the features of the Next as we discover more. But I thought you might be interested in that. The other side that was I thought was quite interesting, there's a reminder of the outs you need in order to make it work. Thank you very much, Simon. There were a few, there was a found a review of it in Popular Computing Weekly, 12th of November 1986, talking about the DiSCIPLE itself. Only reservations, very desirable purchase. That the pre-production manual operating system software pretty primitive. Huge amount of prettifying would be useful. Well, the one I got seemed pretty good. So there we go. And it shows a price of £94 there, so it was obviously a little bit more expensive. Later on, you could also get a thing called Unidos for it. I never did invest in that. I think Simon's got a copy of it. It's a swapped out ROM and operating system from SD Software. It was $25.95. I'd like something to explore. Maybe I can get a copy of that and have a little play, upgrading my DiSCIPLE maybe. Obviously these are quite vintage machines, so you want to be a little bit wary about what you're doing with them. So, but I thought that was of interest and a fascinating look at how the Next can still work with old peripherals, hopefully. So I went and had a little sandwich and a banana, and I thought, I wonder if the model of 1 to 8K Spectrum makes a difference, because I had a Grey Plus 2 as well as a toast track back in the day. And actually then I tried loading a couple of snapshots off the disk and they worked. So it seems maybe the Arcanoid snapshot we tried earlier is broken. So let's take a quick look. If I've gone back to the actual toast track version, and that seems to work just as well. So if I do an out 9275, come on 128, come on out 9531, come on 128. I don't need to do the new because I've already done it. So I've already loaded the system. So if I load the escape, load D1 escape, and that is going to be a K type file because it's 1 to 8K. Then the screen comes in, and the music starts playing. So if I select 1 for keyboard, is it 1 for keyboard? Yeah. one keyboard, 0 to select it, so left, right, up, down, fire, confirm yes, and we go in and the game loads. Ooh, now, oh there we go, yeah, there we go, time to wake up. There you go. So that works fine, loading a 128K snapshot as well. So that's great. And just to prove it was it works, you've got. I think you probably need to be in 48K mode to load. Obviously, I'm going to have to do the outs again now. Out 9275. As I press the reset button, come on 128. Go on out 9331. Come on 128. DOS is already loaded, so we can do a cat 1, and I'm just going to load that 48K squash. So load a D1 squash, and that's an S type file because it's 48K, and that loads fine as well. So snapshots do load, and this is a snapshot I took a long time ago. So yeah, type in a number of games. One computer play each other. So yeah, so what's the computer playing? I probably haven't seen that game since I used the Next back in 1987. Not the Spectrum rather, not the Next. Getting very confused, isn't he? So yeah, just to prove that it does, it loads snapshots fine. So probably need to investigate the other snapshot. Speech works as well. Hopefully you've enjoyed that brief dip, and we'll take another look again soon at some of these wonderful features. Catch you soon. Well, next year, in fact. Have a happy new year. I'm Tim Gilbert, and this is my channel on retro computing.